Disgusting. Disgusting is what we're going to talk about today. It's not the name of the movie, it's not the name of the show, it's not the name of the book, but it's what it should be called. We're talking to you today about unknown number, half-ass, catfish. There's not even a catfish going on in the movie. That's why the name leaves my mind and my memory here. I'm gonna have to do all this with spoilers, so unlike some of my other reviews where I don't give you all the spoilers to the end, I'm giving it all to you right now because there's no way for me to really explain to you my thoughts and opinion without, discussing the spoilers of what's going on here. So the setup is this. The setup is Unknown Number, the Catfish documentary Netflix just dropped. A young Lauren Lissari and her boyfriend Owen McKenney, two kids dating since middle school all the way to high school, they start getting harassed by constant unknown numbers. Cyber harassment, cyber bullying, if you will. Just to nip it in the bud, we all may or may not be aware of the free apps nowadays. There's a bunch of free applications that basically hide numbers. That's what the perpetrator here, the villain behind all of this, was doing. They were messaging both the boyfriend and girlfriend all kinds of evil, sadistic shit. These kids are like 14 and 13 years old at the time, all the way to like they're 15 and 16. The whole premise and the whole purpose and cause behind this cyber harassment is essentially to get them to break up. And just to clear something up here, for all intents and purposes, the kids are squares. It's not like these kids are like, these kids are gangsters. These kids are gang banging. They're student athletes. I'm pretty sure they're both on the spectrum. It's just crazy. The person who's doing this, who's behind all this, decided to do this to them, and I guess this wouldn't even be a story. Now that I'm thinking about it, this wouldn't even be a story if it wasn't for the person who did it. As a person who's had a crazy ex-girlfriend, I've gone through this. You had people blow you up, and then eventually they get bored and quit. In this case, it didn't happen. The person never got bored or quit for 2 years. These are students, and all of their parents are involved. Like, this is a community where the parents are like, the coaches of the teams and stuff like that. So the parents end up being, traumatized and part of this, pain with these kids. The kids end up breaking up. People online start reacting to it. It becomes a whole drama within school. They start vilifying one of the girls. And I'll give props to Netflix because I was intrigued to watch it. I saw a bunch of people posting the face of the villain, the person behind this, online without really giving much context, just saying that the person was villainous. Then I kind of had an idea for where it might have gone as I was watching it, but Netflix does a good job of doing like almost playing a whodunit, where they don't necessarily tell you who did it till the end, and you literally go on the path, on the trail that she spreads along, and you almost think it's a kid. You don't know what's going on here. Boy, what a doozy! What a doozy it ends up being. It ends up being that the mom of the poor little girl is the one behind it all. She's the one texting not just her all kinds of insanely evil things, like telling her to off herself, unalive herself. She's also telling her that, yo, your boyfriend doesn't want to be with you. Your boyfriend wants a girl who gets BJs. To like a 13, 14-year-old. I didn't lose my virginity till 16 years old. It's just crazy to me that a parent would do that. She then literally poses like other kids, the whole thing, the whole concept is like she's like playing the middle in between the boyfriend and girlfriend, trying to get them separate. And it actually works. After 2.5 years or whatever the case may be, they cave in and they eventually separate. And the poor autistic guy, it ends up being the mom of this poor little girl, who not only tells her, all these crazy things, but it's really sickening the route she kind of goes about it. I think the most alarming one to me, it's the whole moment where she tries to use adultery, basically, or like sex activities to get the girl to pivot, I guess. And she's like, oh, Owen doesn't want to be with you. He wants a girl who gets BJs. And like that one's just traumatizing with me. That one really stays stuck with me. None of these things really truly work, but good old persistence is the one that pushes it through. They end up breaking it off, and then the guy, Owen, he ends up getting a new girlfriend in a different school. The mom is the one that's doing the text message, and then she ends up infiltrating the new girlfriend's mother's phone number and ends up texting them. Poor guy, man. That's like, I can't imagine You know, being 14, 13 years old and having to go. I'm 30 years old and I could barely understand it now. It's like insane. And the real purpose I wanted to do this video though is because at the end of it, there's like a bit of a coddling for this sick individual, this psychopathic mother. And it's really scary. You know, you even hear the director at one point trying to justify or I guess excuse or make logic, make sense of why the mother did this. It's so what crazy. And it does honestly speak to the double standard of things in life too, where it's like if a teacher, if an older teacher, you know, hooks up with a young girl in the school, a complete dirtbag, sicko, and rightfully so, I agree. But there's this thing that happens in society that when it's a young boy with an older woman teacher, everybody's like, man, where were those teachers when I was around? Oh, he's so cool, he's so lucky. It's like, dude, that's still a pedophile. That's a traumatizing experience for a child. It kind of feels like that's kind of at play here with the coddling and the oh poor lady with this sick psychopath who you know, for lack of a better term, she's in my opinion a predator. She's a sexual predator. She was sending sex messages to a kid that she knew, even though it was under the guise of, you know, pretending to be nobody. Like she never even said I was anybody else. She kind of just pushed along like this narrative when everybody started assuming it was other people. But catfish, there's another issue I have with this. This isn't necessarily a catfish. Like these boomers can't get anything right. A catfish is, you know, I use Brad Pitt's pictures. I'm like, yo, I'm Brad Pitt. You know, and then I'm not really Brad Pitt. That's a catfish. This person never planned on meeting up with anybody. Never used anybody else's photos. The victim in all of this is the daughter. Towards the end, when the reveal is made that it's her mom doing this to her, she's just so like, really like, you know, the old parent trope is, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. You know, and she really looks at it like that. It's just sad because I do see a world where a mother, you know, could manipulate her child into just wanting them no matter what, regardless of how toxic and evil and manipulative the parent is being. It's a really scary world. They stay in contact while the mom's locked up. The mom gets time, thank God. She gets a year and a half for cyber stalking each kid. I think she should have got way worse. And it's just scary because this is something that was made a documentary of. How many other instances is this happening throughout the world? It's wild. And honestly, you know, Netflix is crazy as hell for shedding light on this and then not vilifying her the way she should have been. Even if like the whole, it's 90 minutes, so even if the first hour, you know, you keep the whole mystery whodunit vibe, but once you know it's her, it's like, come on, dude. Whatever. That's it, guys.